Hey guys, this is Tom with DraftMagic.com, and here we are for another 4-round daily. I'm very excited and happy to bring back the Puresteel collar deck. After doing about 9 hours of straight testing after the last PTQ with not a very good performance from the white weenie deck, I really kind of went back to the basics, tried to find out what made the deck good, and realized that the strategy that the white weenie deck has is just a little bit too linear. There's not enough ways to make the deck interactive to really give you the extra wins that you can take from really knowing the deck and being able to use it well. So then I had to look at other strategies, and I tried for a couple hours with green-white, looking at a variant using Champion of Lamholt, trying to make the human theme work. It actually ended up doing pretty well. The problem was it was just so open to Bonfire the Damned. I kept running into Delver after Delver after Delver deck and beating them. So it was doing very well against Delver, but in that whole time testing, I didn't run into any of the Naya decks, and looking at the sheer number of X1s in the deck, it would have just been annihilated by Bonfire. So kind of in a move to see if I could sort of revive Puresteel, I had another look at it and came up with this list, trying to sort of find out what made the deck strong, what are ways to make it more robust and more reliable, and the answer lay in kind of some of the strategies that the Esper mid-range decks and the Delver decks are now using, which is the Holy Trinity of Restoration Angel, Blade Splicer, and Phantasmal Image. So, these cards just generate so much value that kind of having that as a skeleton crew for the deck, just a basic skeleton upon which to build, really allows us to, kind of still explore the combo element. I shaved one of the collars and the mortar pods to, make it less of redundant draws where we'd get like double mortar pod and like lose value, while at the same time really maximizing the threats. The other really key point that I've made is just that with the emergence of so much Naya and so much red-green aggro, when you look at the actual construction of the deck, almost all of the creatures are green, and as a result, if you look at Delver, it has a lot of roadblocks that it puts in the way in the form of Snapcaster Mage, Delver itself, the Geist, and these are all blue creatures. So I went back and had a look and tried to find out what's the best sword to use, and I realized that Body and Mind is actually extremely well positioned in this current meta to really take down some wins. Having played against a couple Delver and Naya and red-green decks, Body and Mind is the real deal. They can no longer chump with birds. You get a free pass, and against the pod decks, being able to just start milling them is actually a very, very real threat. With the departure of decks like Frights and Solar Flare, both on the decline, exposing the opponent's graveyard is much less dangerous than it used to be. And against decks with more of a sort of linear strategy to just kill you with Naya aggro, red-green aggro, and really Delver, being able to destroy their library is almost as threatening as being able to just kill them. So, very impressed with where Body and Mind is right now. I think it's really the sleeper hit of this deck right now, and being able to board into a third. In many of the matchups, I'm just finding myself wanting Body and Mind more than War and Peace, just kind of over and over, and it could potentially become a 4-of between the board and the main. I've just been so impressed with it. The other card, which I really want to talk a little bit about, is Divine Deflection. I tried kind of using this in the white weenie build, and then a little bit in the green-white aggro, and I would set up turns where there was creature stalls between red-green and myself, or between Naya and Delver, and there would just be sort of angels facing each other, and allowing you the ability to essentially fog and better than fog and just swing in, and then Captain's Maneuver really blew out several opponents. They don't see it coming, they don't play around it, and when you leave yourself obviously open, they swing in for the kill, and you can just annihilate their board, or just dome them and just take them right out of the game. And so deflection has been very, very powerful, and I'm considering bringing it up to a 2 of. I'm not sure if it has a place in the main board, but this is a very scary threat, and being able to draw upon it, opponents are not going to expect it, they're not going to see it coming, and it's definitely won me a number of games in testing. Other than that, I kind of tried to fill out some more of the generic deal with your threat card. I had been running Oblivion Ring in the past, but I found out that Oblivion Ring, while a great card and very versatile, didn't give me enough threat value on the board. Being able to have Fiend Hunter, while it doesn't hit pesky targets such as Planeswalkers, the ability to actually use it in a much more relevant way with Restoration Angel has actually been very effective. Just because every single Delver deck, for the majority, and all the Esper mid-range, the Esper control decks are all running Blade Splicer, as well as Naya Aggro and Naya Pod. Being able to Fiend Hunter their token, and then being able to Restoration Angel it for another target later on, is just huge value. So Fiend Hunter went from being a very kind of situational card where you could get blown out to being just absolute value when you're facing down Golem tokens in almost every matchup. Other than that, being able to side negate in, I really like. This is really kind of the answer we're looking for against Bonfire. We need a legitimate answer because Bonfire is so dangerous. It's in so many decks right now, and really excited to be able to have a legitimate answer to Bonfire. So other than that, kind of the other changes that we made here, added Spellskite back in. Spellskite has been an absolute all-star. Against the red-green decks and the Naya, being able to change the target of their Wolf Run, or being able to redirect Pillar of Flame, any of number of threats, Gut Shot. Spellskite has been really great in helping build the Metalcraft that's necessary, and at the same time, really just protecting you. So I really like the build as it is now. We will see you in just a couple minutes for round 1.